I'm Dean McCumber, one of 3 resident members of the Board of Directors of the Forest at Duke. The other 2 resident members are Banks Anderson and Arnie Lehrman. Banks is in a seat normally reserved for the president of the Residents Association, and his seat will transition to our new president, Lois Oliver, shortly. Arnie Lehrman's term on the board is ending, and the exercise today is directed toward filling his seat. The process is spelled out in bylaws. Basically, the Forest Board asks the Residents Association for 3 nominees. The Residents Association asks residents to propose candidates, and the residents vote to send 3 of these to the board, and from them, the board will select 1. Residents were solicited last month for nominees, and the 5 residents you'll hear from today were proposed. They are all excellent, well-qualified individuals. The election materials you received in your house mail on November 10th included short biographies of these fellow residents. Today, you'll have the opportunity to see and hear from them. Even if you already voted, I think you will find these short videos from 5 of your neighboring residents interesting. And if you haven't voted, please vote your ballot by November 24th. Now, let's hear from the nominees.
Hello, I'm Phil Baer, and I'm a candidate for the open seat on the Forest at Duke Board of Directors. If you've read the bios that were sent out, you know that my professional career was divided, half spent in academia doing research and teaching, and half spent in the pharmaceutical industry doing research and in management. Both halves of my career provided me with experiences and training that I believe will help me serve the board and the forest community. Over the course of my career, I discovered that the easiest way for me to succeed was to do my very best to ensure the success of those around me at levels in the organization. And I will bring that commitment to success to membership on the board. I see 4 areas in which it is critical that the forest continue to succeed. The first, of course, is providing forest residents with what they need to lead healthy, active, productive, and satisfying lives. Success in this area means that residents are glad that they chose to live here and that they recommend the forest to family and friends who are considering moving to a CCRC. The second is having employees who are glad they work here, who see working at the forest as an opportunity to grow and develop in their career. Success in this area means that employees see the forest as a long-term opportunity and that employee turnover is low. The third is in how the forest is perceived from the outside looking in. Success in this area means that the forest is able to continue to attract new residents locally, regionally, and nationally. And the fourth is maintaining a strong financial base from which to plan and operate. Success in this area means taking a conservative approach to spending and maintaining financial reserves that enable the forest to withstand future economic downturns. I believe that we are currently succeeding in all 4 of these areas, and that the challenge for the board is to ensure continued and increasing success in all 4. This will require that the board be aware of and respond to potential threats to that success, and that the board constantly looks for opportunities to improve in these key areas. And it requires that the board be committed to both strategic planning and continuing evaluation of progress toward achievement of strategic goals. I have led and been involved in strategic planning for a variety of organizations, ranging from a volunteer fire and rescue department to county government, from small research laboratory groups to multi-departmental task forces, and from a small intentional community to a large homeowners association. And I will work to ensure that the Forest Board continues to be guided by a well-designed strategic plan. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm Phil Baer, candidate for the Forest at Duke Board of Directors, and I approve this message.
Greetings, and thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. I'm Ellen Barrett, and my husband Ken and I moved to the forest in April 2017 from Fort Mill, South Carolina. We have enjoyed getting to know so many active and interesting residents and participating in the wide variety of activities that the forest and Durham area offer. Over the years, different members of my family have happily lived in CCRCs, be it in the Baltimore, Philadelphia, or Lexington, Virginia area. Thus, I have seen firsthand what a comfort these facilities bring to families and how energized people are who live this lifestyle. Now, I have read my short bio, which details more facts about my family, career, and current committee responsibilities. If elected to the FAD board, I plan to complete my commitment to those committees so there would be no changes until fall of 2021 or thereafter. I have served on several boards over the years, including the Solid Waste Association of North America and the Culture and Heritage Commission of York County, South Carolina. Next, I'd like to focus on what I would contribute to the FAD board. First of all, I would bring the day-to-day experience of living here at the forest as a resident to the board. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, nor a doctor. Those skill sets are already on the board. Most of my career was in the public works engineering field. I managed large multidisciplinary projects in solid waste, wastewater, and water for larger cities and counties, both in the East and in the West Coast. Many of these projects resulted in major changes in operations or were seen negatively by neighborhood groups or the employees themselves. Some of my project experience, therefore, includes understanding how organizations work, recognizing evolving energy trends and workforce challenges, dealing with regulatory agencies and utilities, and respecting feedback from frontline workers and middle managers. As the forest embarks on the health and wellness apartment construction projects over the next 5 years, many issues will pop up, and the FAD board will be key in how it handles responses. Understanding residents and staff, communicating issues promptly, and overall teamwork are additional attributes that I can contribute to the board. Most importantly, we, the forest residents, all have made a substantial investment in this community, which gives us a keen interest in the community's long-range success. If elected as a resident board member, I would undertake my fiduciary responsibilities diligently, help develop policies for the future, and think strategically for the short and long-term viability and marketability of the forest Duke. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry I had a flash flood alert go off on my Apple Watch, and I would appreciate your support.
Hi, I'm Michael Bracy. I'm known by everybody except my wife Ella as Mike. I believe that I have business experience and qualifications that would help me contribute to solving the challenges we now face. We're about to embark on a project that's important to us all. It's large and multi-year. The project is large both in the physical sense with construction, logistics, disruption, and in the financial sense, because its financial requirements are massive compared to our financial assets, and it will bring with it a reduction in our revenues of about $1 million a year because of the reduction in independent living residents. I'm sure that our wonderful management team has identified the issues and risks of this project and how to deal with them. I believe I can make a contribution to the board in its role of supporting management. I spent many years as a chief financial officer and more years after that as a director for public corporations. I encountered many large capital projects, large multi-year, and I was heavily involved in both the planning and ultimately in the financing. Many of those projects went well, on time and on budget, but quite a few didn't. They ran into snags, delays, overruns, and some had to change course. When there were problems, I was deeply involved in the solutions. The most extreme example was that I was part of a small team that negotiated what was then the largest ever marine insurance settlement from Lloyd's of London. I've been deeply involved in all the financial markets, banking, insurance, and public. I do not have experience in the tax-exempt market. On several occasions, the markets changed quite abruptly, requiring higher interest rates, tighter conditions, and shorter maturities. This required a change in financing strategy. The natural gas industry, obviously, is quite different from CCRCs, but financially, it can be very similar. In my not-for-profit activities, I was mostly involved in arts organizations. I was on the board for 18 years and president for 3 years of Chesapeake Music, and on the board of the Houston Symphony for 2 years. I believe I have experience and qualifications to bring to the board, and I hope I have that chance. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Craig Daniels. I have an unusually broad range of relevant professional training and experience for serving on the board. In addition, I am familiar with how the forest works. I have served on RA committees, on the RA board as General Services Chair, and as a co-caucus leader. I care about the forest. It is my home. My training and work experience as a Navy officer, chemical engineer, and professor of psychology and management, combined with the additional skills I learned as department chair, dean of graduate studies, and arts and sciences dean at both public and private universities, provide breadth and depth. After retiring to New Hampshire, I volunteered in the town of Enfield, serving more than a decade as vice chairman of the planning board and as elected representative and chair on the zoning board of adjustment. During this period, I also served as president of the Lower Shaker Village Governing Board for more than 15 years. The village president and the entire board are elected annually. The Village Governing Board is the umbrella organization over 4 independent homeowner organizations, which include houses, multi-unit condos, small businesses, and historic landmark, Shaker Museum, a La Salette Seminary complex, plus a town-owned recreation field, which Ito reminded me contains a dog park. The village also owns and operates its own 25,000-gallon-per-day water system. As president, with the support of the board, I was in charge of planning, budgets, contracts, contractors, and the water system. I became a New Hampshire licensed water system operator to better manage and to upgrade the system, and routinely dealt with several state departments, including environmental services, historical preservation, and highways. I modernized the water system, reduced the annual fees, and increased the village's reserve accounts. We lived in a large 150-year-old rebuilt barn on Mascoma Lake, and life was great. However, as Janet and I got older, the winters got colder. By January every year, there was 2 feet of ice covering the lake. Our grandchildren were in high school and college and visited less frequently, so we decided it was time to move south to the forest. We still feel we made the right decision. Thank you for watching. If selected, I will do my best to serve all of us and to help the forest successfully navigate the challenging years ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Lowell Goldsmith. You have my written statement, and now I focus on why I am pleased to be nominated for the Board of Directors of the Forest at Duke. As a member of the Board of Directors, I will strive to strengthen the forest of today and plan for the challenges of tomorrow. Addressing the future has been the centerpiece of my career. Teaching the next generation of medical students and dermatologists, leading research teams for new treatments, and as Dean of the Medical School at the University of Rochester, forming a unique long-term partnership with the Department of Health of Monroe County, Rochester's county, to increase the health of Rochester, New York. In my academic and professional roles, I have been a member of several boards, chaired boards, and supervised the major strategic planning process for the University of Rochester Medical School, leading to new faculty hiring and building a large teaching and research building. As a private entrepreneur, I co-founded a 65-employee medical software company with products aiding physicians to make more accurate medical diagnoses. Our system has been accepted by NASA for the diagnosis of disease on the International Space Station. I will bring the same attitudes and skills I have used previously to our board. I do my homework before a meeting. I am a listener, note-taker, and I respectfully and concisely question the experts, staff, and fellow board members when appropriate. If I have nothing to say, I say nothing. You might ask, why is the Forest Board a team I would like to join and work hard for? One factor is the Forest and its board has demonstrated extraordinary strengths during the 7 months of the COVID crisis. The Forest passed that extreme stress test with flying colors. The essential services of the forest have been functioning, communication has been frequent, the residents in the health and wellness unit have been cared for. Planning for the new health and wellness facility and new apartments has been progressing at an enviable pace. The vibrant system and project will enhance our lives and activities and is moving forward. There has been creative reprogramming of Greenwoods. Think hamburgers and pizza. The leadership and TFAD staff have done all their activities without moaning and groaning. This is a board to join and work for to enhance the forest for all of us. Thank you.